we're just going to start off. So we ended chapter 8, so we are starting chapter 9 today. What are functions, essential functions? Why function matters? Functions are built in formulas that perform specific tasks. Functions are inbuilt formulas. All right, that's why there's a difference between a formula and a function. All right, a function is a predetermined formula. All right, means it has already been stored and saved in a sense memory. Okay, so they are inbuilt, they're already there. Okay, but formulas is something that you have to create, you have to do on your own. Okay, you have to do on your own using operators and using functions as well. Okay, so formula can be, can range from something that is very using one or two functions to using multiple functions. So formula can be that vast. So it depends on your knowledge of how to use formulas. Okay, so functions are inbuilt formulas that perform specific tasks. Instead of writing complex calculations manually, you can use functions to do the heavy lifting. Let's say there's hundreds of functions, but mastering a core set will cover 90% of your everyday needs. Functions are accessed through the function libraries under the formula tab or by typing them directly into the cell. So I already showed you the formula tab, the formula bar, and then the function library. I also showed you the function library. This is the function library right here. Okay, like as you know. So the function library, this is the function library, and this is the formula tab. All right. So this is where you put the formula, and this is where you can get the functions. So whatever thing that you type on this box automatically appears. Whatever thing you type in any cell here automatically appears in the formula bar. And when you want to get a function, you click the function library. Automatically brings a dialog box for you, and you enter the formula, the functions that you are looking for, and another dialog box will open to tell you to put the necessary arguments. Okay, so all right, the anatomy of a function. Every function follows the structure, the function name, argument 1, argument 2, just like that, equal to the function name, then the open brackets. Don't forget open brackets. Then start putting in your arguments. Argument 1, argument 2. Okay, so example, you have equal to sum. Sum is a function. All right. Then you open the brackets. Then arguments. What's the first argument? A1 to A5. So I'm telling you to sum A1 to A5. If I put comma and I sum another range, it's also added to it. That means we do A1 to A5, you add A1 to A5. Let's say A1 to A5, the sum of A1 to A5 is 65. Then do comma, and the sum of B1 to B5 is 7. So what you will do for you automatically is just add everything together. To add 65 plus 7, and to give you 72. Okay, so that's it. So you put the first argument, then you put your second argument. So that's how the function works. Okay, so the math function, right? This helps you perform basic arithmetic calculation. So the mathematical functions,
Yes.
mathematical functions are what you use to do basic mathematical calculations, all right? And the ones I'm giving here are just the basic mathematical functions that you need to know. So you need to know these mathematical functions because you need it everywhere. You need it in Power BI. You need it when you are doing what's it called? When you are doing DAX calculation. You need it when you are doing Power Query calculation. So these are basic calculations that you need to know as a foundation. Okay, so the sum, as you can see right here, so the sum calculation, which some of you know have been using it since. Okay, so the sum calculation can just be this. Okay, so like I said, you start with an equal to. Okay, and you enter the sum. I told you when you're typing a formula, Excel automatically starts suggesting different functions for you. So you don't need to fully type everything before you get to the formula that you want. So if the highlights, you can see that blue highlight is now on substitute. Okay, so that's not the formula we're looking for. We're looking for sum. Okay, so if you click the sum, you can see sum is highlighted. Just click just press the tab key on your keyboard. So when you press the tab key, automatically it will complete the formula and open a bracket for you to start your argument. So if I press the tab now, it will open the bracket for me to start my argument. So it's telling me, what do you want to sum? Number one thing you want to sum. Okay, I want to sum this here. All right, I told you about cell referencing. Okay, So I'm referencing E4 and the content of the E4 is 97. So actually I want to sum 97, but I'm not typing 97 in the formula. In the functions, I'm only referencing that cell. All right. The cell or what contains a particular number. So that's the number I'm aiming at. Okay. So I reference that now. So I do comma. Okay. And the next one. Okay. Then I close the brackets and I enter. So that sums these two for me. So you can see what I did here, right here, automatically sum E4 and F4. All right, we can also do it another way. Okay, just do it, just highlight the range. So sum, right, your tab key, and you can see this one now we didn't put comma. All right, it's still the same thing, all right, because that's an array. So we just use an array right here. Okay, so it gives us the same thing. So you can see right here. So this is the sum for you. Okay, and if we come down here, because we are doing this one now by row, so let's sum the column. All right, so the same thing, the sum, as you can see here. So if I do equal to sum, then the tab, I just drag everything right here. Okay, and you close the bracket and enter. It gives you the sum of everything. So now you can see that I wasn't putting argument one after the other. I wasn't putting E4, E5, E6, E7, E8. No, what I did, I just referenced the old range, that particular range where I want to sum, and it gave me the same number. Okay, so if I do it that way, if this one, that's just too long. So that's the sum. So this one is the sum. This one is summing these two. This one is summing this one. So this is sum. Sum is very important. Sum is not difficult. All right, sum is not a difficult function. So it's very easy. Anybody can do that. Okay, as you can see, automatically I just did this and it works for me. All right, so the next mathematical function that you need to know. Okay, before I move into that, so another way to do this, now we are doing it on the cell. Okay, calculating the formula on the cell. All right, another way you can do is you can do it through the function library, and when you do it through the function library, it will not be like this. Okay, so I click the function library, a dialog box will open. So it's telling me something now. Okay, sum. Okay, yeah, because I selected that, so that's the reason why it just brought it up. Let's say I want to put the sum here. Okay, and I click the function library. So it's a dialog box coming telling me like insert a function. So here you can search for a function. You can say type a brief description of what you want to do and then click go. So just in case you're a novice in Excel or with functions and you don't know the function you want to use, okay, you can just sum. Just type the script. I want to sum. Let's just do something. I want to sum. Let's see what happens there and go. So it has brought different functions for you. Aggregates. So aggregate is also what all these are. You can see all these now, they are aggregate functions. They sum for you. But let's say you just type the sum right there and you go and see what happens. It prioritizes the sum as the first function that it brought up. Can you see? So once you click it, it will take you to the next dialog box when you start imputing the arguments. Another way you can do it, all right, is look at this box, say select a category. You can select the category of function that you want to enter. So if you look at this drop down right here, if you click it, that like I told you, that different kind of functions. There's the mathematical function, there is date and time, the statistics, lookup and references, database, text, logical, information engineering, and so on. Okay, so now what the sum is under the category of math and trig. So once you click that, okay, you see just click to the bottom, search to the bottom, scroll to the bottom, and you see sum right here. So select it, click OK, and you see another dialog box will open for you. So right now it's telling you to enter your arguments. Number one, just like we have when we're typing the functions, all right, on the cell. So the same thing here, but this one is a dialog box you are putting it. So this makes it easy for you if you're a beginner. But when you get used to working with Excel functions and all that, you just type directly on the cell and it gives you the results. So right now, number one is E5 to F5. Okay, as you can see right there. So it's already summing it for you, as you can see. It's already summing it for you. So if you click OK, let's see what happens. So can you see? So automatically it just detected the numbers, automatically brought the answer to us. So the same thing if we use the sum, use the sum right here and do the same thing, drag this to this and close the bracket and enter to give us just the same thing. Okay, so if you're not familiar with some functions, the main functions in Excel or the functions that you want to use, you can go to the function library right here, click it, and you'll be able to search for the function that you're looking for. And Excel will bring it up to you, so you can use it for your calculations. So that's that for the sum. All right, so we have done this. Okay, so we have done this. Now we just this for only one cell. So how do we check for other cells? We can now drag this down. So if we drag this down, automatically, all right, you can see automatically we have dragged down. So if you click, don't forget this, we click this box, so we are copying cell or fill formats like I showed you in autofill, flash fill, without formatting, fill format only copy cell. So we just copied it down. And if you look at the formula, the first one is E4, all right, column F4, all right, that means this E4, this F4. So it's summing these two together, right? If I look at the next one, E5, F5. Why is that? I told you about we learned about absolute reference and relative reference. Is that correct? So if you look at this one, and this one was relative reference. You can see that there's no dollar sign right there. So automatically it's changing as it's moving downwards. It's changing. The numbers are changing. So we have F4, E4, column F4, which is these two. As you move downwards, you go to the next one. But imagine I put a what's it called? Absolute reference, maybe a dollar sign. Okay, to make this E absolute reference, and let's see what happens right there. Okay, who can tell me what will happen if I put the dollar sign? Let's have an interactive class.
Sir, it becomes a constant, sir.
It becomes a constant. Then what happens if I drag it down? What happens?
The value is repeated in all the boxes.
The value will be repeated.
The column will remain constant while the row changes.
Yes. So there will not be any change. If you do that, there will not be any change. All right, because we are not moving right, we're moving downwards. Do you understand? So if you look at here now, it's E that's here. Look at here, E is here. All right. If you look at the next one, all right, it's the E that's here. If you look at the next one, so what we just locked, the only thing we locked here is the E. Are you getting me now? So because this summation that we did right here, it involves just this E here. We're using E. So it will not affect the formula. So you can look at this now. If I drag it down, nothing changes. It's just the same way. All right, but just imagine if I not drag it right, then you not start seeing some difference, because now it's, instead of moving to the next column of F, you still stay permanently. But now let's do another thing again. So let's remove the dollar sign from. I told you about missed reference. Okay, so let's put the dollar sign before the 4. Okay, and click OK and see what happens right here. The values will change now, right? Because now I'm leaving this one is becoming permanent. It's not moving. It's starting from here. And it's not moving. That means you calculate this. Instead of you to come down to calculate this too, you just calculate this. Can you see it has changed? So what do we have here? So here we have E4, F4. Here we have E4, F5. So E4, F5. So this is what is calculating. This particular range, that's what's calculating. It's calculating everything. So if you go to the next one now, you see E4, F6. That means it's calculating everything to F6, as you can see right here. Okay, so that's what it's doing. It's just calculating like this. It's calculating. All right, so this one is not relative reference, because why I've already locked the numbering right there, the number right there. So this number that we have is not actually changing. So it will not give us what we're looking for. All right, so this is sum. Okay, so we have sum here, we have sum there. So another function that is very important for us to know is the average. So if we click equal to average, so we want to know the average of these two. So this is the average. So what does the average do? This plus this divided by 2. That will give you average. So you can just do it manually, right? This, okay. This plus this divided by 2.
So I think it has to be in bracket because it is calculating it individually. That's why it's giving 127.5.
Oh, yeah, you're a good student. I'm just you're a good student, all right? I think that's the last thing we taught in the last class. That's the last thing we taught in the last class. Yes. So I was trying to figure out where that issue is coming up from. So yeah, so this is the average. It gives you the average. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing that applies here. So this one is just a function, right? The predetermined function. Why this one is what's it called? A formula that you just did. So you don't need to write a formula. For those who know maths very well, it's just easy for you to write it and you will get the answer. All right, so that's that. The average, so like I said, you can just drag it down and get the average of everything here. So the same thing applies here. You do an equal to and average, okay? So the same thing applies here. You want to get the average of all these scores right here. You can just do that, multiply by it, and this gives you the average. So that's the average for you. Okay, so the next one is to round, all right? So what does the round function do? So, okay, let's see. So you say you round the number to a specific number of digits. Okay, so you want to round it to a specific number of digits. So how do we use the round? So let's do that. So right now we just have to let's use one particular cell. We'll come back to using two particular cells. For now, let's use one cell. Okay, we'll come back to using a range. So I want to run this. So let me just do this. I want to run this. The number, we enter the number first, the number of digits. Let's say I want to run it to 1. Then I close the brackets. So nothing changes. Why? Because this one does not have a decimal place. So let's drag down and see what happens. This one has a decimal place. This one has 2 decimal places. So I want to drag down. So if I drag down now, you can see I've reduced it. Okay, I've reduced it to 1 decimal place. So what you just did now, you can see. So these are just basic mathematics. You know, you can see what happened right there. Okay, so let's just drag down and see for the others. So this 7.2, 70.2, 70.2. So this one has 1, so nothing changed there. So that's just that. Okay, so but I mean this is a good example to show us what I mean. So if you round it up to the nearest whole number for you. So the next thing we want to do, okay, is so if we want to round these 2 now, so how do we do this 2? You cannot just round these 2 like this. Okay, so for example, let me do round and select the range. Let me select this range. What do you want to round it? 1. So rounding each cell, looking at the array and rounding each cell. Okay, so this is not the best way to do it because this one is spilling over to this. So if you look at this now, you can see for 3.56, which is rounded to for 3.6, then 85 here, which is here 85. So this is not what we want to do. We don't want it to spill. So this one is spilling dynamically, all right, to the next column that we have right there. So this is not what we want to achieve. We want to have everything in a particular cell. We want to have the solution in the particular cell, the result in the particular cell, not hit splitting. So right now, we can't do this, okay, with the round alone. So we now have to do something else. So what do we have to do? We have to sum this first, then round it. For example, you can see this one has already been summed. So let's come around this one that has been summed already here. So we come and do equal to round this. Okay, to how many to want to round it? Let's round it to 1. And you can see from here now, it has done this, as you can see right here. So these are basic mathematics, but you need to understand how it works. You can see right here, from here, it has done this. You can see. So what is the logic? What happened here? So we first did a sum and we did a round. So the round alone cannot sum for you because round does not sum. Do you understand? It does not sum. So something happened here. So this is what we call nesting of formulas. All right, nesting of formulas. When you stack formula inside formula. So we can actually do this in one go rather than going to step of summing first before we come to round it. So how do you get to do that? Nesting of formulas. So when I come here and I do sum. So when I do sum and open the bracket. So what do I want to sum? I want to sum this. Okay. All right. So yeah, I want to sum this. So is that all? But I'm telling you that after you sum it, please round it. So what do I have to do? I have to come back and put the round before the sum. And all right, round it, open brackets. You know, after you enter any function, you must open a bracket. So I'm telling you now, round this. So this one now, if I do this sum like this, all right, equal to this sum of this range, it will give me this. So the way this one is, just forget about what you're seeing right here. This is the solution here. It's like this is the solution that's going to give you. So right now, I have this one inside this box right here. So what do I want to round it to? I want to round it to 1. So when I close the brackets and I enter, it will give me the same thing, just like what it gave me here, but we have two different approach right here. Here, the sum was in this particular cell first, then I just reference that cell, right, and I round it, okay, to the number of digits that I want, and it automatically did that for me. Here, I nested the formula. So mind you, when you are doing formula in a cell, right, this where you have to write your formula clean. Okay, you can see I've dragged my formula bar down. So when you're writing formulas, you have to write it in a way that it will be easy to understand. For instance, now I've used this round here. I can just come, oh, sorry, to hold up. So I want to take this sum down, right? So we have the round right here. Okay, so taking the sum down, so just have the formulas just like that in the bits. So you know there's a round here. So this is how you write when you're writing DAX. This is how to write a clean formula. All right. So you cannot take this one as well. You cannot take it down. So this is how to write a clean formula. When you're writing DAX, this is how you should approach it, because sometimes DAX formula can be very long. So when you learn to approach your formulas like this, it becomes very easy. But when you're writing DAX in Power BI, it becomes very easy because Power BI will give you colors. For instance, now this round now can have yellow here. All right, and this other one, this last brackets now we have yellow, so we'll tell you that this one belongs to this one. So if you miss any of this, all right, let's say I go and put an extra bracket right here. If I put an extra bracket right here, the formula will not be right. It will tell me error. Can you see right now? Say we find the type on your formula and try to correct it to this. So you must ensure just one little bracket can just spoil whatever thing you are doing. You can write a long formula, and at the end of the day, just one comma or one bracket. So you must always learn to check your formulas and see where the error is coming from. So right there, you can see I did round, then did sum. So please, let's proceed. Okay. So this is what we call formula nesting. I've showed you what happened there, right? One formula, then put it inside another formula to give you the answer. Instead of going to 3 steps, 4 steps, 5 steps, you just do it as a go, and you get the results you're looking for. All right, the next one is the max. All right, max. So I want to get the maximum value, all right, in this particular column right now. So if I do equal to max, okay, and I just drag this down, what happens? Equal to max, open brackets, right? Then I drag this down, then close the brackets and enter. So this one gave me the highest value. So which was the highest value right here? The highest value here is 99. So let's look for it. This is the highest value right here. 99 is the highest value, as you can see right here. 99. So that's what the max is. Okay. The same thing too. Let's check for the mean. So like I said, we all know these things. We did them in school, so it's easy for us to follow up. Okay, that gives you counts. All right. So I want to count. So there's a difference between counts and count A. All right. So count the number. All right, number of cells in a range that contains numbers. So if there's maybe a blank cell right here, okay, count will not do that. Will not count it. So let's do it now. So let's just do this one. Everything here contains numbers. Oh my God. Counts. So do some step. So let's count this. So let's add this blank space right here and close it and enter. So it's counting 19 cells, though we selected this blank cell as well. If you look at it now, you see E23. This is E23. You can see the 23 here, you can see the E here. This is E23. We selected it. If you look at the formula right here, we have E23 right there, but it's not counting this. So Kante, look at what the Kante tells you. So count the number of cells in a range that are not empty. Okay. Then this is what the count tells you. Count the number of cells in a range that contain numbers. Okay, so the two want to look similar. All right, one, they contain numbers and not empty. Okay, so let me just put it straight. So let's do this. John. Okay, let's play this better. John. So let's say we have John right here. Okay, equal to count. So you want to count the number of cells in a range that contain numbers. That means you not count that John as part of it.
Yeah.
So we'll do this and just drag it down. Okay, then we come like this and enter. All right, so it's ignoring this guy. So let's just count. Let's do the count A, right here. Count the number of cells in a range that are not empty. Okay, so right now if we drag this down, let's drag this down. Okay, so it's calculating 20. Okay, so you can see the two different steps. So this one has a test as part of this, but this one only counts. The count only counts numbers. Why the count A count the ones that are not empty, as you can see right here. Then count blank counts. Okay, if you select everything like we did right here, look at the count blank right here. We selected everything. There's only counting the black things, as you can see right here. Okay, so we can have.
Yes.
We can, if we want, for instance, now, if we want to count these blank cells, all right, together with all these other ones, we can use the count blank. I told you about nesting, not nesting of cells. We can count this count blank and use count blank and use this count A, okay, to actually get to count everything here. But if you use count blank and count A, it's still going to give you the same number of 20, as you can see right here. So if I put this join right here, go back and put John. It gives you 20. Why? Because there is a value in that particular cell. So this one's only counting numbers, but this one is counting everything that has something in the cell. So now there's also count blank. So the count blank here, you can use these words to count blank cells. So let's say we have this and you want to do the count blank right here. So you can use this to count blank cells. So for instance, now if I do this, I can select a range, and all you will do for me is just to count the blank cells. So it avoids these other ones. All right, then count the blank cells for me. So the same thing can apply here when we are using it. Okay. So basically, these are just basic things, all right, that you do in Excel, basic calculations that you can do in Excel, right here, and that can really help you to, to walk around when you're doing analysis, especially when you're doing core analysis functions and all that. So next time we're going to go to the logical function. So logical functions used for decision making and conditional logic.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Please, can you explain the counter again? I didn't get that part, please.
Okay, the count A.
Count
All
A,
right.
yeah.
Yes, so people call it counter. All right, so just understand this basic. These ones are the basic, but they are used everywhere. They are used everywhere. When you're doing complex calculations, all right, in DAX, you do complex calculation, you need all these things. You need a sum where you want to calculate how much revenue was generated in a particular region. You need average, you need all these things. All right, so just know them. These are basic, but they are very, very important. Okay, so now let's move to the next kind of function. Let's go to our book. We have the next one, which is logical function used in decision making, conditional logic. All right, if condition and or if error. So let's just go there and work it out. All right, so right now, so I'm going to go to the logical functions right here. So logical function. So this is the if condition. So what does the if condition do? It's a conditional function. Okay, so I'm telling you, if this thing happened, if there are 5 boys in the class and 2 are absent, put absent, otherwise put present. Okay, so that's what the if condition is. So you're just using if. It's a logic. Okay, if I have 3 apples, one belongs to my friend put friend, otherwise put me. All right, so just simple logic. Right now I want to use the if. All right, so we'll start by what using the equal to, opening the if right here, and we're going to say if we want to reference this particular cell right now, if this particular, oh my god, one bracket, if this particular cell right here, which has Anambra on it, right, if this particular cell right here, okay, so what do you want to do? If the particular cell, what's the next thing you want to do? If this particular cell is equal to, right, so let's just write the name right there. It's equal to Anambra. You know, I told you when you want to write test, all right, you have to wrap it around quotation mark. It's equal to Anambra. So what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I want to put true. Okay. I want to put true. Oh, I can put 1. I told you true is 1 and false is 0. Okay. Or I can type it manually. I can put true. Otherwise, I can say false. Close bracket. So this one is equals to Anambra. If this cell is equals to Anambra, give me true. So it's true. That's why it's saying it there. So let me drag it down, right? So this one is going down dynamically. Okay. So this is a relative reference, right? So we move to the next one. If this one, I'm telling you that if this particular cell is equal to Anambra, bring true. So it's not equal to Anambra. That's why we're bringing false. Look at the formula bar. You see it right here. If D5 equal to Anambra, print true or false. So right here, it's not equal to Anambra. That's the reason why it's bringing false. So it's just only one that's equal to Anambra. If you look at everything, it's just only one that's equal to Anambra, which is what this particular one. So what? Okay, let's just change it. Let's say it's equal to Edo. Okay. So it's false now because this one here, this state here is not equal to Edo. So let's drag it down and see where Edo is. So we can easily identify where Edo is. You can see. You can easily identify where Edo is. Look at this. Edo is here. Edo is here. It's able to identify where Edo is. And we can just bring a filter here and at once, all right, at once we'll just let me get the table. Look at the filter right here. So mind you, this is not a table, right? This is just a filter. It's not a table. Okay, so this particular I can say let's just easily spot Edo. So select that off. So right now we are left with Edo, as you can see right here. So we have easily filtered out Edo, as you can see right here. Can you see that? So we easily did that. Why? Because we already only have Edo here by using the filter, what's it called? The logic. Okay, to bring Edo out of here. So another way you can do this, you can say if this one is equal to, it's not empty. So how do you write that? I told you about the logical operators when we do operators the other time. All right. If this one is not empty, that means if there's something here, put not empty. For instance, you want to identify the blank empty cells. All right. So let's just say if D4 is not empty. Okay. So how do you write is not empty? If this one is not empty, so greater than less than, that's how you write if it's not empty. So it's true, it's not empty. Okay, it's true. I think almost all of them will be telling you true. Let's drag down. They will tell you true. Oh, there's nothing here. Let's delete it. They will be telling you true. Then you can see this one is empty. Now let's drag it down, and the next thing you see is false. So why is he identifying D23 as true? There's something there. Okay, so there was a mistake in the formula right there. So as you can see right here, so we're telling it if this particular cell, this D4, okay, is not empty. So this is how you write is not empty, which I showed you when we were doing operators right there. So if it's not empty, bring true. Okay, if it's empty, bring false. So if I come here and I type, let me type another cell. Let me say I type delta right here. Automatically, you see this false that we have here will change to true. Let me just do it. You see the false has changed to true. So this is another way to use just to spot empty cells. Okay, so to spot empty cells, you can use this when you are doing data cleaning. Okay, so mind you, all these things I'm telling you, you can apply them in data cleaning. So this right here is not empty. This empty, so that's why this I mean it's not empty, that's why it's showing true. This one is empty, that's why it's showing false. If I come here and I type something, I type another state again, let's say and I type Kanu, for example, so automatically you see here that's false, you know, we change to true. So you can use the true this if condition in so many things. Is very, very important. It's one of the most important functions you need, and you need to know in your work as a data analyst. All right, you need it, very, very important. You need it everywhere. You need it everywhere. If you are doing SQL, you need it in SQL. You need it in Power BI. You need it in Excel. You just need it everywhere. Even when you are doing Python, you are doing coding, you need it as well there. So understanding that, is very important. So with this now, I can easily spot blank. All right, I can easily spot blank cells. I can tell you, okay, these are these blank cells here. So let's delete the blank cells. So with here, and I can see these ones have changed to true. Then what do I have to do? I can just come here and click. And what do I want to do? I want to leave but the false. I click OK. So all these ones, look at the false. These are the ones that are empty right here, as you can see. So you can come here and check cells that are not empty, as you can see right here. So it has brought only the cells that are not empty for me, the range that are not empty, as you can see right there. So this is just the if condition. Okay. So another thing that we can do, all right, another thing that we can do right here is to use the what, the and. All right. So let us go to our book and see what's there. And have to have two conditions, all right, and the two conditions have to be met for your results to be correct. If the two conditions are not met, your result will not be correct. So let's start with an equal to and say and. So once you do and, you can tell you logic one. So what do you want to do? So if I said if Anambra, if D4 equals to Anambra, okay, if D4 equals to Anambra, all right, logic one. What's the next logic? What's the logic two? And let's say the person has a score, his math score. The score is let's say this particular cell is lesser than 50. So I can say lesser than 50. Okay, lesser than 50. So what do you want to do? False. So this answer is not correct. Okay, it's bringing false. Why? Because the two conditions are not met. Why D4 is equal to Anambra? Okay, his math score is not lesser than 50, so it's not bringing the answer for you. Let's drag down and see if we have other rules that have the answers. Definitely they will not have the answer because Anambra only appeared once. All right, it's not repeated, so definitely they will not have the answer because and needs the two conditions to be met for you to bring the result for you. Okay, so we already know Anambra has one instance, in this particular range, so it will never bring the answer for you, except let's do something here now. Let's now put Anambra. Let's meet the two conditions. So let's put Anambra right here, and let's put 35. And let's just drag this. You can see this one has changed to true. Can you see it has changed to true? Why did it change to true? Because it's meeting the two conditions. It's meeting that this particular cell in this column has Anambra, and this particular cell, all right, is less than what, 50. So the two must be met for you to have the AND function to work. So the AND function can be AND. You can use it to do so many things. Okay. If we change this now to 51, you see this one has changed to false. Why? Because it does not meet the two conditions. Lesser than 50. All right, that's the condition, lesser than 50. If I change it to 50, you will not see me the two conditions unless I not change it again. It's still false. So the only way this one 50 can work is when I do it okay, less than or equal to 50. If I not do less than or equal to 50, then you see this one will change to true. So if I'm using less than or equal to 50, this one will be changed to true. But if I'm just using less than 50, that means it's not seeing the 50. It's everything below 50. That's what it's saying. So you need to understand how the AND work. The two conditions must be met. You can use it to do so many things. All right. I just showed you two examples. All right. I mean, I showed you an example using just two columns. You can use it to do, oh, this person is female, you know, and the person is from Benin. All right. Let's say you want to sort, you have a very long list of data, all right, and you want to sort with a condition, all right. You want to know people who are male and who score the highest in the exam. It's very easy for you. For instance, you can just come in and check it. Then instead of say D4, so this one is C. The gender is C, right? So just change it to C4. So you want to check the males who performed well. So this equals to males. Okay. Then this equals to 50. So this is 40, this is a female. So that's why it's showing 40. This is female, so it can never be. So most likely this one is a male, but this one is higher than. So it's not still even giving us the answer. Let's drag it down and see where we're gonna have true. So there's a true here. All right, let's trace it. So this is a male. This has 48. You can see you missed that condition right there. So like I said, the two conditions must be met for you to be correct. So we have this and we have this, and you can see the solution right here. It's telling you that it is true. So from here now you cannot use your filter to what? Just to filter true and click OK. So you are seeing the list of those people who are male. All right, and they have less than 50. So that's it. Is it clear?
I did not get these two aspects very well. People are false.
You do not get the AND. So what AND? The AND logic, what the AND logic does is that it also have two conditions, and the two conditions have to be met for it to bring the results. Do you understand? If I said call John and Paul for me, and you call Paul, you did not call John, have you done my instruction?
No, sir.
You have not done my instruction. So you must call John, then also call Paul. So when I see Paul and John, that's when what I've sent you, I've done it. Do you get? So it's just a lot. Understand, it's a logic. We're only putting the logic in calculation. All right, it's just a mental logic. So use that logic very well. If you understand the logic very well, then just come here. You know how to do it. You know how to put the formulas and everything. Then it becomes easy. All right. So, but understand the logic behind this function, the AND function. What's the logic? When you have the AND, the two conditions must be met before, the result can be correct. Is it clear? So two conditions must be met, not one condition. Two conditions must be met.
Sorry, sir.
Yes.
Sorry, sir. For AND, the two conditions must be met for you to declare what you wanted to declare. If not, to declare something else.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Then OR. I thought OR is one condition can be met for you to still declare.
Yes, that's what we are going to OR. OR is just one condition. Just like OR now. If I tell you, give me
this or that.
This or that. So it's just one. I'm telling you that anyone will be okay.
Okay.
Do you understand? It's just normal logic, just normal reasoning. Yeah? You understand? So normally we're only putting it in calculation.
Right.
You're only learning how to do it with calculation. So that's it. Normal reasoning. If I say bring this or bring that, it's just normal reasoning. Do you get? So that's what it is.
Yes,
so if we enter the OR now, you understand how the OR works. All right. You understand the OR, but I want to be sure that everyone is clear. Okay, with the
AND. Okay.
With the AND. Are you guys clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. So OR. What does OR do? So let's go to our material. Say OR, condition 1, condition 2. So one condition must be met. Okay. So let's come back here, and this one that has been AND since, let's just change it to OR. That's all. Let's change it to OR. Okay, let's just change it to all and enter. So what happens? Let's drag down and see. So I'm saying C4 equal to male, E4 lesser than 50, which is not true because C4 is equal to what? What is C4? Okay, C4 is equal to female, but here now C4 is male that I put here, right, in the formula. Okay, E4 equal to 50. I mean lesser than 50. So this one now is what is equal and greater than 50. So that's why it's becoming false for you. So let's check this one now. It said C5 equal to male. So is C5 equal to male? No, it's female. So that means that condition is not met. Let's check if the next condition is met. Is E5 lesser than 50, which is this? That's yes. So you can see how that one of these two conditions were met. So that's why it brought true for us. Okay, so let's just go to all the places where we have true. So this one again now, we can see it said C9 equal to male. Is C9 equal to male? Yes. All right. And is E9 lesser than 50? No, it's not lesser than 50. But because this one is equal to male, it brought the solution for us. So the or is that one of the conditions must be met. So now there is nested if. All right. For instance, all right, you want to grade, and some students fail. You want to have pass, you want to have excellent, you want to have fail. Okay, you can also use if used to do all those things. Do you understand? Maybe you want to check the score of the performance of a particular of a particular class. All right, in an exam. All right, you want to check the performance of the pupils, the students. Is the if used to do that? So let's give you a scoreboard. And with the name of the student, and I tell you, okay, please, I want to determine those people who passed, those who failed, and those who got excellent. So those who fail is below 50. Those who pass is from 50 to 70. Those who what's it called? Those who have excellent from 70 and above. So how do we do that? Still with if we're going to do, but we're going to nest the if in if. Do you know what I'm saying? I told you about nesting, right? Nesting on function. So we're going to nest the if in if. So how do we nest the if in if? Multiple ifs, or let's say nested if. Let me call it nested if. Nested if. So we have a nested if. All right. So we want to go say if. Okay. Okay. If this, the mass call, let's say we want to check the mass call, right? So we want to say if, okay. So let's say if it's greater or equal to 90. Okay, so let us do if it's greater or equal to. So mind you, when you're writing all these greater, you ensure that all these greater and lesser comes first before the equal to. The equal to always comes last. So you don't go and put the equal to first and you don't get the result. And you say, but how did he do it? I'm not able to do it. So ensure you do it that way. Okay, so if this mass score, okay, is greater or equal to 90, equal to 90. So what do I want to do? If this one happens, what's the condition? What do I want to do? All right, bring excellent. I told you when you want to write the test, you must ensure that you wrap it, all right, around the quotation mark. Bring excellent. Otherwise, so the next thing the if statement is telling us, okay, what if it's false? What if it's not greater or equal to 90? What do I do? That's the next thing. So the next thing you can say fail. But if you put fail there, you have only restricted it to what? To those two gradings, right? I can say excellent. You are restricted to only excellent and fail. But want to have excellent, want to have fail, then want to have pass. Do you understand? So that means to say we are not going to put fail or we're not going to put pass right there. Rather, that place we are going to put pass or fail or whatever, we are going to use another if there again. Okay, so we're going to say now if again. Okay? So we're going to say if, right? This is greater or equal to 50. If it's greater or equal to 50, so what happens? What do I want to do? Okay, I want to say pass. Okay. So now, then what if it's not that? What do I do? So what do I not do? It's not easy. You have to do the final one. So fail. So that means any other thing that is not these two fail. All right. So when we do that, you have to close the quotation. You know, we have two ifs right here. So this if has a quotation mark that is to the opening quotation mark. You have to close it. The closing quotation mark. If you look at this red, you can see right. You can see this red and this second if right here. You can see how two of them is telling you that you have closed this particular if, or you have not closed this one. So let's close that second one now. So we have to close it. We have to enter another closing bracket, as you can see right there. So let's just click right here. So you can see this guy is excellent. So let's just drag it down. So we can see this person passed, this person failed. This person failed because it's lesser than 50. If you can, as you can see right here, it's lesser than 50. This person is excellent because it's greater than 90 or equal to 90. This person passed because the person is what? Equal to 50 or greater than 50, he passed. This person passed because what? Is equal or greater than 50, he passed. Equal, greater than 50, but what? Lesser than what? 90. The person passed. So you can see those who failed. This person failed because this person is what?
Less than 50.
Do you understand? The person is
Yes,
less
sir.
than 50. So this is how you write this kind of thing. You can easily grade students and know their performance in a particular test or in a particular exam. All right. So if somebody gives you this kind of thing to do, of course, as you begin to work as analyst, all right, you will see all these things. Okay, you will see jobs like this. I will tell you, please, I want to. A school can just call you. Okay, please, we just finish our exam or something. You want to arrange something like that. You can easily just build something like this for them using the if statement. So you can see how if is very important. This is not only restricted to student performance. You can go on a long way to do so many. You can have more than 3. You can have 4. You can have 5. Just like that. Do you understand? You can have if this. You can put pass. You can put fail. You can put excellent. You can put another thing right there. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if you want to put forth conditions right there, right? What do you do?
Keep adding them in the
You tell me. Is it John that is talking?
You add
Yes,
another
sir.
if.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
John. Okay.
Add another if
So
after
let's say
that.
let's say you want to add good. Let's say good. You want to add good now. Okay, you want to add good. How would you add good? Where would you add good? Let me open the formula for you so you can see.
Okay.
Oh, let me do it here. Let me just open this. Let me just drag this formula bar down. Okay, so you can see. So this is the formula, right? So
Yes.
this is it. So I'm saying if E4
Yes.
is equal to
Greater than
90.
equals to 90. Print excellent. If E4 is now greater than equals to 50, print pass. If else, fail. But at this point where we're writing fail, we'll now
Yes.
substitute it for another if statement.
Mhm.
And that if will now be
Let's say fail is let's say fail. Let's just change the numbers there. Let's say fail is 40 downwards.
okay.
All right. Let's say fail is 40
Okay.
downwards. Okay.
Okay.
And good. Let's say good is 60
Between-
downwards. Let's say good is 60 downwards.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Then excellent, right? Is that always remaining? Okay, we have pass. Okay, we have pass. Okay, let's say
Pass.
pass
Yes.
is 50 downwards, 50 downwards, 50 to 40, 50 to 40. All right, then we'll now have 70 to 50, which is what? Good. Okay, then we'll now have
Okay.
90 to 100, which is excellent. So let's have it like that. Okay, so how do we do it right now? If 90 is excellent, this one is correct, we are done with this. So what's the next thing
Yes.
you want to do? The next one wants
So
to do
the next
is good, right?
good.
All right,
Yes, sir.
so how do we do good?
Sorry, is it good is 60, right?
Good is no, good is from 90 downwards.
70?
Yeah, 70.
Okay. So we'll say if E4 is greater than equals to 70,
Okay.
print
Good.
good.
Less.
All right. So what's
Print
the next
good.
thing? So you can
The
see
next
now,
thing,
we cannot use this one again, right?
yes.
So
At least not here.
yes, don't use it again because we want to nest another if right there. We want to put another
Yes.
if right there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So what do we do now?
So after that, if
Okay.
the next one is pass, right, sir?
Hmm?
Is the next one is pass, right?
Yes.
Next one is
Yes.
pass. Yes. So if
Okay,
four,
so
If was
if 4
yes.
is greater than equals to
Mm-hmm.
50 in this case, right, sir?
no
50.
60.
50. I said
60.
50. 50.
It's 50. It's 50 now.
Yes, 50.
No,
Okay,
60.
50.
Please, 50 or Gasa. It's not 60.
50.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Then you print pass.
Okay, so one will pass.
Yes.
Okay. So
Then
pass.
if
Otherwise, that's the last one.
otherwise,
There's no
yeah,
if
okay,
again.
that's the last one. Well,
Otherwise.
sir, I would if what if we put if to make if for less than equals to 50 or less than equals to 49 to now print fail.
You have to
Like there's
turn
no
it.
need for that.
You can see the consistency. Like this one is greater than. You can see the consistency greater than. Can you see the
Okay,
consistency? So if you're using less than, just use
Then
less than. You have to use less than or true. Less than or true.
throughout. All right.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So you have to watch the consistency. But in most cases, it's greater than that we use for this kind of stuff.
Okay, sir.
Do you get? So that's what we use
All
for
right.
it. So the last one,
So
I just
then
put
you
if
just fail.
So just put fill. Just fill there now, right?
Yes.
Fill. Fill. Okay, so we are not done. So you can see right here we have to wrap it with one more, because we have
bracket.
3 if. So we have this. We have 2 brackets that's ending it, but we have 3 if 1, 2, 3. So we need one more bracket.
One more. Yes.
And enter. So you see excellence. All right. So let me just drag this my formula bar. I'm gonna drag down up. All right. So it's done there now. So let's just drag it down. Let's see. We have excellent, we have fail, we have good, and we have pass. So excellent is 90. Fail is less than 50. That means we didn't get it very well. Because we say fail is 40, Abi.
No, fail.
All right.
Yes.
We say fail is 40, not 50 now.
Yes, not 50.
So
fail
we have
40.
to change. We have to change this one now. I have to change this one now. So I'm not sure we have any fail, because do we have anything less than this thing here? I'm not sure. So we have to now create.
So we need to change it to 50 then.
So no. Let me change the value. So let me change this one to 39. So we can have a fail. This one I just changed to 39 and it's now fail because it's less than 40. Can you see? So this one is now fail. This one is now fail. This person is not pass because it's less than 40. Right? So we can change the value again. Let's say we change this one to 23. It's fail, you see right there. Okay, so you can see we have 4 conditions. You can also have 5. You can have 100. So yeah, that's that. Okay. But should I tell you something? There's a new formula that has come. Like I told you, if you're using 2016, you're on your own. All right. So there's a better way we can actually do all these many things without having this. There's one formula, all right, which is similar to if. It's called the switch formula. Switch. I don't know if you know. Has anybody heard of that before?
No, sir.
Switch
No,
formula.
sir.
You can use switch formula
No,
to do this.
no, sir.
Okay. Switch formula will just make it easy. If you look at this one and the nested if right here, you can see that I just long. You can have a switch formula do the same thing. Alright, so this is switch formula. Okay, so right now it's telling you to write an expression. So how do we start the expression? Okay, so right now we can say, okay, I want this thing to be true. I want these ones to be true. Otherwise, let's see what we feel. So right now we're starting this with true. So what's the expression that I want to put here? The expression is true. I want this expression to be true. So you can see right here, it can either be true or false. Okay, you can see returned logical value is true. So what else do I want to do? I want to say the same thing, almost the same thing we did right there, but we're just gonna write everything without writing if. Just one formula will do everything for us. So we're saying this one right here. Let me just take it down to the next or the next line. All right. So we're saying if for, just like we did the other time. Okay, is greater or equal to what? 90, right? Is it 90?
Yes,
You
sir.
said
Yes.
comma, all right?
Yes.
Say comma.
Yes, sir.
What happened? Excellent. Just like you did there, right? But this one we're writing it in one formula. We're not doing if. We are not doing many if. Okay. We have solved this
Sir.
problem. We have solved this one now. So then he's telling us now. Let's go to the next thing. So I want to go to the next one right here. If for.
For
Right? So, but this one now we're not writing if. We're not writing if again. Okay, we're not writing if. So the formula is just there. Just so we're putting the next thing. If for equal greater or equal to what's the next
70.
value? 70, right?
70. Yes.
So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We're going to say
Good.
good. Okay, so yeah, let's go to the next line. If4 again. All right, so greater or equal to what's the next one?
50.
50. No, we said 40. Right.
No, 50 to be pass.
Is it 50?
Yes, sir, for pass.
Okay. So pass. Okay. Is it? Sorry. And let's go else. Otherwise, what do we want to do? Fail. Right here. Let's enter it. Okay. So let's see the syntax. Let's see where the issue is coming from. Ensure that everything is correct.
So I think you missed one comma after the good.
Yeah, that's it. So like I told you, you can write a long formula at the end of the day. Your formula will not be correct. Why? One small comma, you'll be looking for comma. All right. Or you're looking for, you did not use the closing bracket very well. You know, it will affect your formula. Okay. So let's see what happens there. So why is this one showing fail?
Yeah.
So this we are using
you made
40.
a comment.
We are using 40 here. We are using 40 here.
Yes.
I told you guys 40.
Yes.
People say it's 50.
That's true.
Okay, it's 50. That's here. 40.
Okay.
They ought to be the same thing. All right, they ought to be the same thing. As you can see now, we have changed it. You can see, right? Look at the formula bar. You see this is a switch
yes, sir.
function that is there. So I'm not using if. Okay. So you see now the same thing with here. Excellent, good, pass, excellent, the same thing. Good, excellent. Fail, the same thing. So what we achieve with using so many nested if, we just achieve with one formula. Achieve with the switch formula. So if error. So for instance, you're doing a formula and there's an error somewhere and you want to remove just if error, that's what we help you to do it. So you enter equal to if error. All right. So what is the value? So I'm going to click this if error. Then what will you do? If there's if error, what do you want to do? I can say return 0 if there's if error and close. Okay. Right now there's no error, so no 0. You can look at this place and there's an error right here. This is an error. I intentionally did it. This is an error that we can see right here. So let's just drag down and see what happens to that place. So we are it's like we are looking what's here, but we are removing the error right here. So as you can see right here, or you can see the if error now has gone away. It's not 0. Why? Because we replaced it with 0. We can go back to the formula and say, if it's if error, what do you want to do? Let's put NA. All right, let's put NA. Let's put n/a. But of course, you have to write that because it's a test now. You have to write that. Okay. So you can see right now n.a if you find if error. So basically, yeah. So that's how you get it done. You can put the value. You can put anything right there. Just to tell you, just to change the error message that you're getting right there. Conditional and math operation. So conditional math operation. So that's where you have the some ifs, some ifs, can't ifs. All right, or call it some ifs, can't ifs. That means when you have several conditions attached to that summation that you want to do. All right, so that's how you get it. Okay, so now, right, I want to sum if. No, we know normal sum before. Sum this. Okay, we just know this normal sum. Sum this too. Okay. and give us 178. Or we come here, sum this, give us this. Okay, we just know about the sum, but what about sum if? Sum if is telling it to look into other columns, all right, and do the summation based on the condition, okay, that we want from those columns. So right now, let's change it to sum if. So this is sum. Let's go to sum if right here. So sum if equal to sum if. So we're telling you to select the range where you want to have your condition. So let us have male. The gender, okay, the gender column. All right, the gender column right here. And what's the criteria we're looking for? We're looking for male. So let's just write it. Sum if we want to sum all the values or all the scores for the male students. Okay, if there's male. All right, so where's the sum range? So this is where I want to sum here. So close it. Close it. So it has given us the summation, but this summation is just for the male, as you can see right here. Okay, it's just for the male, as you can see right here. So let me show you. Oh, we'll do that later. Okay, so you can see this for the male. Let's do for the female. Let me just drag it here a little bit. Okay, sum if. So where's the range? All right, of the condition that you want to get. Let's do for here. Let's see here. Let's just drag this. And what's the condition? What's the criteria right here? If female. Okay, so where's the sum range? Where do you want to sum? This is where I want to sum. Okay, and enter. So let's now sum these two, the male and female, and you see it's the same thing. So sum this and this. So see, give us this thing. This is also a straight sum. You can see right here the same thing with this, but this one is the sum of the male, this is the sum of the female. So when you plus the sum of the male and sum of the female, it will give us the summation of this particular mass score, as you can see right here. So the total score that was generated from the exam was this. Okay, so the same thing. This one is just a straight sum, but this one is the addition of the male and female. Is that clear? That's what sum if do. So you attach a condition to your summation. Okay, this thing I'm telling you is very important. There's what we call, there's the calculate function, which is the most important function in DAX. Calculate function use the sum if logic. Though the sum if has a restriction, all right, has a limit. The calculation is advanced. So when you are doing what's it called, DAX, the most important calculation is called the calculate function. The most important function is the calculate function. All right, and it uses the logic of the sum if, but it's just a bit dynamic, all right, and a bit different and a bit advanced than the sum if. Do you understand? When you're doing DAX, there's nothing like sum if right there. All right, there's nothing like sum if. You use the calculate function and all that. So when we start doing DAX, you get to know that. So, but right now, understand the sum if. The sum if, you're just using condition, right, before you do your summation. What you give condition before you do summation. That's it. So sum ifs, what is sum ifs? That means it has more than one condition. You can have like 2 conditions, 3 conditions. There's a particular model that I built a time ago. All right, I had to use a lot of sum ifs. Okay, if this condition is, if this condition is there, if that condition is that, all right, then bring this thing. If all those conditions are not met, then don't bring it. You know. So sum ifs, what does the sum ifs do? It's just multiple conditions before summation. So if I do equal sum ifs, so it's telling me to select the range. All right, the sum range. Where is the sum range? This is the place I want to sum. All right, so now it's telling me to select the criteria range. Where's the criteria? The first criteria range. I want to do this. All right, select this one. Then what's the criteria I want to search? I want to search for the female right here. Okay. All right, so it's telling me now enter another criteria range. Which another criteria range I want to enter? So let's say I enter here. All right, and what do I want to do? I want to search for Akwa Ibom. So I want to search for Akwa Ibom, right? Akwa Ibom right there. Sorry, mistake. So search for Akwa Ibom. Just type Akwa Ibom right there. Close the bracket. Okay, so that's the next criteria range. So do I want to return it like that? And just enter. Close. So this is the summation of the females who are from Akwa Ibom. It's 165. I think Akwa Ibom is just down here. So, and we have 2 female. We have 3 instances of Akwa Ibom right here. 1 is male, 2 is female. This is female, this is female. Okay. So right here, I want you to just follow my cursor. Follow my cursor. Look at this place, right? What are you seeing there?
Some 165.
165, which is the same thing he gave us here. So what I did, I just highlighted these 2, right? So this is just a quick view of summary. This one can give you average count and all those things. This is a quick view of your summary of the selected cell. When you select a particular range of cell, all right, this can give you a quick view. All right. So we can also look for male on the same thing. All right, and give us the answer. So you can have several stuff right here. We can say, oh, this one when it's greater than 60 or when it's higher than. So just like that, all those many stuff, you can use it in your calculations. It's as little as these functions. I've used them to build good templates, all right, that is being used by large organizations. As little as this small count, if, some, if, and all those things. If you master them and you know how to use them very well, you can use them to build models and you can start selling the models. Okay, it might look little, but they are very powerful. That's why I told you these things are just the basic things that you need to understand when you want to go to your journey as a data analyst. You need to understand these basics, how to use all these functions and formulas. Okay, so count if is just the same thing. Okay, it's just the same thing. All right, so what's it telling us is what select the range and criteria. So that's it. So I want to select a particular range. I want to say count only the females. That's what it means. Count only the what? The females. So count only the what? I can just say count only the females. So it has only counted only the females. So let's do what this one can. This one just give us all the counts. So give us all the count of 19. So and we now to count only the males. So you see the all ends 19. Count E, count only the males. Okay. So 7 plus 12, that's 19. So yeah, the same thing applies. Count if first. That means you just have multiple conditions. Count if first, if this is this. I want to check only the me here. I want to check the me that's from Lagos. I want to count. So that's it. So the same logic applies in using these conditional and math operator together, functions together. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Subtotal. Let's move to the subtotal. Now, there's something that the subtotal does. All right. Subtotal works when you're using a table. Okay, when you're using a table and you have filter that said subtotal changes, all right, but the summation doesn't change. So let's convert this thing to a table and see what I'm talking about. Control C. Yes, my table has header. Okay. So right now, let's do sum. This is sum. This is sum total. So equal to sum. Okay. So I want to sum everything right here and close. So mind you, can you see how that is not doing A5 to this? Why? Because we have a table and the table has a name, which is table 1. I've not named this table anything, so that's why it's telling you table now. That's the default table name in Excel. Table 1. That's the default table name in Excel. So that's why it's in table 1 maths. So it's telling you the name of the table and the column at which you are summarizing. So you can see right there, if I enter, it gives you this. Okay, let's check what subtotal does. Equal to subtotal. Okay. So you can see now subtotal, there are several options that you can pick. So there's a function, you have to pick a function here. There's several functions you can pick. You can pick the sum, you can pick the count, you can pick whatever thing. So let's go and pick the sum. Where's the sum? This is the sum. So the sum has a particular code. So I can just go here and type 109. It's the same thing as the sum. So let me click it. This is 109 that is there. So the function number. And right now, what do I want to do? Okay, what do you want to say? Reference. I want to sum this. Then can you see it's the same thing? Two different formula, the same thing. But now let me tell you the logic. The logic is when you start using filtering. When you start filtering the data, you see one is changing, the other is not changing. So let me come to the female right here, and let me just, the gender, let me just leave the female and click OK. So can you see that the sum is, the sum is static. The sum is not changing because the sum is seeing the whole table, but subtotal is seeing what's on the view, right? What is displayed before you. That's what the sum total is saying. If I now come here, I want to sort it, I want to filter again, and I remove, let's say I want to see only delta, and I click OK. So right now, this is data scope, but this sum now is giving us everything, but this subtotal is giving us what's currently displayed on screen after filtering.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Do you get that?
Yes, sir.
After
Yes, sir.
filtering, so it already shows what displayed. You can use it when we're doing all this can't if, and we can use this one to understand can't if even better. All right, you can use it to understand can't if it's only female and only delta, you give us this. If I go back to do can't if, right, let's go back to do if it's only female and with only delta. All right, some if it's female and delta, and you see it's the same thing. So let's go back and do. You see the same answer it will give us. We are just using this feature. These things are very important when you're doing data modeling, when you're doing DAX. These concepts are very important. You will need them. So if I come here and do some ifs, all right, because it's multiple completion. If I do some ifs, so you then do the sum range, which is here. Okay, and now what is the criteria? Criteria range 1. So I want only a female we did, right? I want only female, right? Then criteria range 2. Then I want only delta. Then I want only delta. Check it out. Click OK. Give us 220. If I come back to subtotal, give us 220. So this one is actually some if kind of just using filtering. Okay. So the same thing that applies. This one I'm just using formula. This one I'm using filtering. But what if you don't want to filter the data? You just want to leave everything. That's when you need to use formulas to do these things. So you can see the same 220 here. It's the same thing I did, the same logic, the same filtering that I did. But I did this filtering by using a formula to get the evaluation. All right. But here, it's still a formula, but the formula is dynamic. Let me put it like that. It's not static like this sum. You can see this sum is static. So this one is more like a filter kind of function, right? It works with what it's seeing on screen, as you can see right here. So if I change here, it changes dynamic. It changes based on what he's seeing. It's what he's seeing that he knows. All right. But this guy is static. He's seeing the whole table. This one is seeing what is in view. See what's in view. This one is seeing what's static. So that's the subtotal for you. You'll find it handy when it's time. But just know them. All right. So let's go to the next. Let's go to the text kind of function. This text kind of function are very important. Right, in everything that we do, because when you're doing data cleaning, all these things, you will need them. You need all this knowledge and the use of text functions and some other functions I've mentioned earlier on. And when you're doing data cleaning, so it's very important for you. Concat. What does concat do? Concat
add together strings.
All right, two things together, two tests together, two test string together. So concat. So this concat. So we can see it said concatenate a list of range or test string. All right, that's what concat does for you. So yeah. So it's telling you to do test 1. There's 2, this, and you close it. Let's see what happened. It joins 2 of them together. So
you need to have space.
Yeah, it's supposed to have space, so I've not added space to it. So I'm just showing you so that we can understand how this stuff. You can add multiple, you can do this one, you can do 3, you can do 4, you can do 5. All right. But right now you have to add space in between. Just add space in between. I told you space is a test character, so you need to wrap it around. The quotation mark. So I've added space so that you can see right now Janet the Concord. Okay, so we have used concat to join 2 tests together. So before we have first name and we have last name, but here we have full name. So if you meet yourself with this kind of data where you have first name and last name, you can use concat to join them together, and I can just as well drag them down, and I just have this, right? But right now, the formula I see there. If you double click it, it's formula that you will see. Okay, it's not the name you're seeing. The name here is just the result of what you did with the formula. You look at the formula bar, that's the exact thing that you have on the cell. If you look at the formula bar, the exact thing you have on the cell, that's what's on the formula bar, right? But what you are seeing on the cell right now is the result of the formula. So what we want to do, since you have gotten the full name, right? So we just need to select everything, copy, Ctrl+Shift+V to paste as value, or right click, paste special, come like this, then see paste value. So you want to paste as value. So once it pastes as value, the formula has disappeared. The formula will not be there anymore. If you look at the formula bar, that's the exact thing we have right there. Janet. So if I double click it, you will not see any formula again, because what? I've pasted as value of. So when I pasted it, it overwrites what was there before. So the formula and all those things that were there have gone. So now I've successfully gotten the full name. So I can now change this one now to full name. All right. I can now change this one to full name. And drag it to this place and select this, collect the format painter and format this one and delete these 2. I don't need them anymore because I have the full name right here. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
That's how I use the concat. All right, so let me just go back.
Yes, sir.
Go back. So concat. The next is left. So you want to get a particular character, all right? Starting from the left side, you can get a particular character. Let's say you want to get the first character, right, in a particular word. You can get it here, the left. I mentioned about doing what's it called? The initials, right? You can do the initials of the first name and the last name. I mentioned it earlier on. So now left. What's the left? So if I do left, so it's telling you return specific number of character from the start of his text string. So it's starting from the left. So you will return the number of characters. So let's say I want to get the initial of this name, right? Or the initials of the first name. So that's we just bring it for me. You just bring the initials of the first name. And when I drag it down, that's when you see these are the initials of the first name. Okay. As you can see right here. So that's left for you. Then we have right. It's the same thing, the same logic, but it's starting from the right. Okay. It's starting from the right. Yeah, so do the same thing. So what do I want? So mind you, the number of character. Okay. So if I want the first one, I can just put the first character. I want to see the first character. The first character from the right is cool. If I want to see the last 2 characters, it brings the 2. If I want to see the last 3 characters, okay, it brings the 3. Just like that. As you can see, so I can drag down and see the last 3 characters. So the length, calculate the length of the text. Alright, so you can say length. So it returns the number of characters in the string. As you can see right here. So this one has 7 characters in it. So I tell you, and drag, and this one has this if now you can see this if it has 3. That's the length of this character. It's 3. Then we have the upper. So the upper, right, is very important for us. Okay. For instance, look at this text right here. It's in lower. in Microsoft Word, you can easily just go to the formatting, all right, and change it to uppercase. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
But in Excel, it's not like that too. Excel does not have such functionality. You have to use a formula to do that and copy and paste as value. So right now, I want to do the upper. So right here, this one is in what? This one is a sentence case. Okay? Where we can actually change this to just to be all uppercase, all caps. So I can come here and do upper. All right, and go and just do this test. So you can see it has changed this one to Okonkwo, as you can see right here.
When you did the
concat
formula or joined together, so how you add space?
Yeah, now you have to add the space now. You have to add the space in the formula when you do concat. All right, when you do concat, and let's say you want to concat these two tests together. Okay, do this one, right, so that we can have a space in between. All right, we can do what? Space is a character, it's a text string. Okay, so you have to wrap every string with what? A quotation mark. So you do command and next test a space. So I use the quotation mark, enter a space, okay, and enter the next test I want to join with it, close it, and it gives you that. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The lower, what the lower does here, right? So equal to, it just gives the lower case. All right, it gives the lower case of. Okay, so look at this test right here. So I just want everything to be lower. So even the first character, normally the proper will give you the first character as the capital letter and the other ones, but this one, everything small letter. Then you have the proper, right? The proper is like the what suggest proper is the proper way. Okay. This one you are doing when there are two words. This one I just have only one word right here, so we'll not be able to see it very well, but I will show you something in a minute. So you can see proper. This is the proper way. It doesn't look like there's any change right here because we just have only one word right there. So it looks like this. But let me come here and put let me just type JNet right here. Let me type JNet. Let me type this one as small g and enter. So if you look at this place now, you see you can see right here that this one has each of the words capitalized, each of the first letter of the words capitalized, as you can see. So that's why it's called proper. Each of the first letter of the words, first character of the words capitalized. This one has small j here, but you can see it has big j. So this is why it's called proper. So you need this when you're doing data cleaning. Okay. So then we have the trim function. We have the trim function. So what does the trim function do? So if you look at the state right here, you can see the state here. There are a lot of inconsistencies that we can see here. You can see the state Anambra right here. You can see that this one has like 3 or 4 what's it called? 4 space in between. You can see right here. This one has 1 space. You can see here in between. You can see in between the data, and this one has 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 spaces in between. It's supposed to be 1. This one has some space before the word F. This one has like 2 spaces before the word. So this inconsistency, this is not how it's supposed to be. Everything is just scattered. So the trim function, what the trim function does, help you to remove unwanted spaces. Trim it, that's what I call trimming. Trim all the spaces that are not needed. Put it in the right way it's supposed to be. 1 space separating 2 words, and no space before a word, and remove the space after a word. All right. So if I come here and I said trim equal to, and I do the trim right here, this, okay, and I trim this particular text that's scattered right there, close the bracket, and I click the trim. This text is now organized. So let me just drag it down. You see how the text is now organized. You can see the text is now organized. There's a difference between this and this, as you can see. So this one is accurate. This one is better than this one. This one is now cleaned. All right, better than this. This one is scattered, but this trim now has removed all the spaces that we don't need. Okay, so like I said, there are hidden spaces that you might not know, but it's not in this class. All right, so all those are advanced. So yeah, so that's the trim. And right now you can see this one, and the way it's messed up. Now we can now use the proper to make this one to look good. Okay, because we can see Anambra State, you can see this Oyo State, you see the states in all caps. Then we have the Oyo, the O, right? Capital letter and so on. So it's not really okay. So we can add the proper to this. Now we can just do the proper, or we can wrap it inside the proper formula. So we can just come here and wrap it inside the proper formula, a proper function, and add this to the end and click enter. So you can see that, you can see how that is not proper. Everything is fine. You have removed the unwanted spaces, and it has also cleaned this. So this data is not clean. This one is clean.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay.
Can we wrap everything under the concat? Like if you want to have the first name, they have the last name, and want to make it proper to look proper and trim everything.
Of course. If there are wanted spaces, of course, you can add those things together. You can add everything together. You can nest that. I told you about nesting of formula. You can add formula in formula. Let me just show you the dates. Okay, dates. Then you have start date. You have today. After that, you have end date. For instance, now you can use today. You can use equal to. You want to know today's date. Those equals to today. If you look at the date in your system, open bracket, close bracket. You're not putting anything, right? And enter. It will give you today's date. Can you see? Just one form will give you today's dates. So you can know today's dates. If you want to know what the time is saying, no. All right, you can use. Don't worry, we have use cases for these formulas, all these functions I'm giving you. You have use cases. So you want to what's the time right now, the time and the dates right now. Open bracket, close the bracket, enter. It will give you the time, what the time is saying right now. So look at it. This time is saying 5 minutes after 3. You can see this is what the time is saying right now. Okay. Let me show you. So it returns the number that represents the date in Microsoft or your Excel date time code. So date. Okay. So it returns serial number of the date that is indicated number of months before or after the start date. So let's see what the date does. So what's the start date? Okay, I can say the start date is this. How many months do I want it to return? Let's say I want to return 4 months and close it. So right now it's giving every date has a code. All right, and it say every date has a code. So we need to format this one as a date. Let's do control 1. And change this to a date. Yeah, this. Okay. So you can, if you look at this one is telling you it starts with a month, right? This is US date. My computer is in US date, right? It's telling you January 1st, 2020. I added 4 months to it. Okay, it's telling me 4 months to January is May, right? It's telling me May 1st, 2021. So this one you can use it to track a duration that a project will last. Let's say you want to track a duration. All right, you are building a template and you want to track the duration that the project is going to last. So we can also easily just put the date here, and we can put a condition formatting. There's something called condition formatting which you're supposed to do. So when that date has reached, it will just flag. It will be showing red or something. This date has passed. Or you can use to track anything. You can use to track maybe you are doing a kind of business. Maybe you are doing a loan business and the time is due. Or maybe you want to do subscription. Your time is due. You can also use to track it. Oh, I subscribe this day and my subscription will end this day. This is the date. That's what you use. So you just add, some months to an existing date that you place there, and automatically.
Okay, fine.
So that's the date for you. Do you guys understand the dates? You would use this since there will be use cases. All right. I'm just rushing it. I cannot give you a lot of scenarios right now. There's no time. You have really passed our time. I'm just looking at. Let me just quickly rush this stuff off. Okay. So you have the VLOOKUP and the XLOOKUP. Okay. So you need to understand the concept of VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP is very important. Let me not say VLOOKUP is very important, but the concept of VLOOKUP is very important because it's the concept of VLOOKUP used to do what I call data modeling. If you understand the concept, all right, of VLOOKUP, you will not struggle when you come to data modeling. All right, so you need to start thinking like that, the mindset of a lookup table. So what are we looking at? For instance, a teacher. This is a teacher has students in the class. Let's say he has 4 students in the class. Michael, Peter, James, and John. These 4 people in the class, okay, in his class. And Michael is there. Michael has other information that is attached to him. So Michael is there. Michael has a date of birth. Michael has a state that he belongs to. Michael has other things. So when teacher called Michael, say, Michael, which state are you from? Michael will be able to tell the teacher that this is state I'm from. So lookup is actually using a particular lookup value into a lookup table where you want to get another column. So Janet, I'm calling Janet. Janet, there must be a relationship. Janet, and Janet is answering me. And I say, what state are you from? He's telling me I'm from Anambra State, and brings Anambra here. So understanding the concept of how lookup work is very important. So we have VLOOKUP. We talk about vertical lookup. That's what it means. They have HLOOKUP that we have here. It's called horizontal lookup. They have XLOOKUP. So the difference between VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, SLOOKUP is that VLOOKUP must always start from the left, but XLOOKUP can start from anywhere. Then we have index, and you have index and match. Okay, so the VLOOKUP is let's do equal to VLOOKUP. So what am I looking? What do I want to look? What's the lookup value? I want to look at Janet. Where do I want to look? Which table do I want to look at Janet? I want to look at Janet from this table. So what do I want to do? No. Didn't put my comma. I want to look at Janet Okonkwo, comma, which table? Here. So what do I want to do? I want to what? Just look at what? Which column index? Okay, is that I want to look up. It's the second column index. So I click it and then enter. So you bring female right here. So I'm telling Janet, which gender are you? Janet is telling me I am female. You can come here and say I want to look up the third column. Which state are you from? Click OK. I'm speaking to Janet, and Janet is saying it's from Delta State, but you can see that there must be a connection. The lookup value must be the same with here. So I'm looking here. You can see the connection. There must be a relatable column, all right, that connects the two data together. And with that relatable column, you'll be able to put data, other columns, all right, that's attached to that data. So this is something we call fact dimension table in data modeling, and this is what we call fact table. All right, this one just has only one dimension.
So
yes,
the Janet Okonkwo, I don't know, is on the table is Anambra State, but what is given is Delta. Is there a reason for that, sir?
Janet, okay, Janet Okonkwo. Did I do absolute match? We need to do absolute match. Range of lookup. Because we don't do absolute match, it's going to be a problem. Excuse me. So I want absolute match. Okay. Sorry, you need to do this. All is going to approximate absolute match. All right. So if you don't use this, if you leave it like that, all right, we should just select this third column for you at random. Look at what happened here. This is why I selected it. So he selected the third column, the third row. Okay. So
okay, sir.
What you want to do, you want to add 0 there to give it the approximate match, and not him looking at the third column and the third row. Do you get?
All right, sir.
Sorry, I didn't see that.
Sir.
Yeah.
Listen, sir. What if the table is in another sheet?
Definitely. You can reference another table, right? You can reference from another table. You can put data from another table. Let's say I want to put data from this place, right? It's just to, when you start your formula, right? Okay, this. So let's come to another. The formula would be there. The formula will not remove. Let's come to another. Let's say we come to this date column. Okay, and okay, coming now. Excuse me. Let's start all over. Let's do this. So which table do I want to look? Which table do I want to look? So let's come to these dates here. And let's look at this table. So we are looking at this table, right? So if you look at the formula bar, you see this VLOOKUP there. The formula is still there. or remove, even though you enter another table, it's still there. So you can see it has referenced the name of the table, which is name of the table is dates. Then when you see this inverted, what's it called? Exclamation mark. All right. When you're referencing another table, you must add this exclamation mark after the name of the sheet that you're looking into. Then you now reference the particular range you want to reference. So difference between this one and working on the same sheet is that when you're working on a different sheet, you must say the name of the table and the name of the sheet, and also use an exclamation mark to say that I'm looking into this particular sheet to get the data. So I want to put the data from this particular sheet. And where do I want to put the data from? I want to put the data from. That can be solved. So now, mind you, VLOOKUP is kind of old. It's not really, it's already used nowadays because data modeling and other things have come to replace VLOOKUP. But you need to understand there's a concept of VLOOKUP. All right. If you understand the full concept of a lookup table, like I said, you are looking here. The two tables must have something related. Okay. So this one, there's this relationship. It has a name. This one has a name. Okay. This has built a relationship between this and this. So because of this relationship that this one has with this, you can now ask this a question that, okay, please tell me what's your name. So the VLOOKUP is like the teacher that knows Janet, this guy, and this guy. So now he has it. It is in memory of the teacher. The table is in memory of the teacher. The VLOOKUP is the teacher asking, go back to his memory and bring a particular person's name and ask the person, tell me the state you are from, and he brings it. So that's what it is. So the HLOOKUP is just the same thing, but HLOOKUP is not, instead of looking vertically, it's looking horizontal, it's looking this way instead of looking like this. So you have the HLOOKUP and you have the index. So the index is actually looking at an exact match. You can check particular row and a particular column number. So let's just quickly touch index. I don't have time anymore. So this is the index. All right. So it tells you returns a value or reference this cell at the intercept of a particular row and column. All right. So where's the array? Let's say I look at this particular array. Where do I want to look? Let's say I want to look at the second, or let's say I want to look at the third row. Let's say I want to look at the third row and second column. All right, and I enter. It gives me the answer. Female. All right, so the third row, second column. So let's say I want to look at the third row, the third column. So give me the answer delta. So this is the third row. This is the third column. This is the third row. It gives me delta. So that's it. So look at the intercept of row and column and it brings the answer for you. Okay. So there's something called index and match. So like I said, I'm not teaching Excel. Okay. We can go deep, very, very deep in Excel. We can tell you, we can do many things when it comes to Excel. All right. But I'm not really teaching Excel like that. But these are just little core foundation you need to know. If you want to stay in Excel, we'll stay for a long. I mean, if this program is just for 4 weeks, 4 classes or 5 classes at most, if it's we are doing maybe proper training, all right, proper training that will last for 3-6 months, and then we can take like 2 weeks, and that 2 weeks can have like 6 classes to the Excel. But we have only taught like how many classes? 3 classes. Okay, so everything we are just rushing it so that we can just look for a way to cover everything. Information function. Lastly, is number. Okay. So you just want to know, you want to get an information. You just want to know, is this in a number or is this a text? Or is this a value? Or is this in blank? So you see it's number. If it's in a number, it will tell you true. All these things you see now is just true and false. Okay, so if it's number equal to its number, and do this, close it, give you false, because actually this J4 that we reference is not a number, it's a test. So whatever I put for, there and click enter, what it brings to you is true because it's a number, it brings true. All right, but before you're giving you false because it was a test. All right, let's do the same thing. It's test. It's test, and just go and click here and drag it. Yeah, it's false. It's because it's a number that is here. Let's go and put the number that was there before and see how it transforms. You can see now it's true. It's test. So it's blank. Is this a blank? So this one gives you information. This stuff gives you information. Yes, they can be embedded into formulas, right? When you're working, But you need to know that. So this one is false because it's not blank. So when you delete this one now, you can see it's true.